There are moments when the world feels loud, fast, and mentally crowded. And then there are moments when a story pulls you in so deeply that time softens, your mind settles, and something inside you exhales. Today, we are talking about that experience, the joy of losing yourself in a good book, and why audiobooks, in particular, can be a powerful form of mental rest. Welcome to Healthy Mind, Healthy Life. I'm Yusuf, and today my guest is Henry L. Sullivan III, an author, traveler, and independent consultant whose work spans speculative fiction, philosophy, and social reflection. He is the author of the thriller Colosseum and several upcoming audiobooks that explore real world challenges through near future storytelling. In this episode, we are exploring how reading and listening to stories supports mental health, why audiobooks offer a unique emotional experience, and how storytelling helps us disconnect from the stress while reconnecting with ourselves. With that, I welcome Henry to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Henry, let's start personally here. Can you remember a time when a book or audiobook helped you mentally escape or reset during a stressful period in your life?
Oh yeah, that's easy for me. The first book that comes to mind for me is the novel Munich by Robert Harris.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with the novel, but it's a novel that takes place during the Second World War period. And what happens is one character who is like on the staff of the Prime Minister of Britain. Um, he receives a communication from a group of from a friend of his that he hasn't seen in a while, who is on the staff of the foreign ministry for Germany, and this friend is basically trying giving him proof that Hitler plans to invade further into Europe. Because at this point, um, Chamberlain is still under this belief that he can persuade Hitler not to do it. And the reason why, I mean, there are a couple of reasons why this novel really just drew me in. One, it's a way of sort of processing things that are happening in real time right now in the United States of America, um, but without having to deal with the reality of what we're actually dealing with. It's a way of sort of feeling as if you're learning things, you're gaining insights from someone else's experiences. And the other thing is the novel is extremely well written and is extremely well performed. And so that is definitely an example of a novel that drew me in, and it just allowed me to sort of escape my everyday, but at the same time, giving me insights that helps me deal with my everyday.
Some people see reading or listening to audiobooks as passive entertainment or even avoidance. What do you think people misunderstand about getting lost in a story?
Well, I guess in a way, I wonder whether or not writers feel that way about reading and audiobooks, because for writers, the other novels, I mean fiction writers in particular, other novels are the things that kind of inspire us and motivate us to write in the first place.
Mm.
You know, usually I've been in dozens of writing groups, and the writers that I've met who have been writing for a long time, are very serious about writing, they usually have a particular style in mind that they fell in love with.
Okay.
And they may not be, the goal isn't necessarily to be just like that other writer, but they kind of want to produce art that's in that vein,
Yeah.
you know. And so like I'm currently in a writing group with another writer who just loves absurdist writing. So he loves I think there's an author named DeMille that he follows a lot.
Okay.
Um and so his writing basically tries to take um it tries to take reality and things about life that can be sort of frustrating, and
Right.
he makes it humorous, you know. Um, and so his writing isn't exactly like this other author that he mentions a whole lot, but that's what motivates him to write. So I think that for writers, reading and listening to audiobooks isn't exactly passive because it's sort of is helping them to develop, at least in my case, I feel like it helps me to develop my palate. Um, Now, for readers, I'm not people who only read and never intend to write. I'm not exactly sure because I would think that it's just like movie lovers or people who love the theater or people who love dance. They feel like they're part of it. Actually, like when you actually succeed as an artist, what you're actually accomplishing is you're making this person feel like they're part of this experience.
Mm.
Um, so that I'm hoping that that's the way people who read and never intend to write fiction, that's the way they view it.
In everyday life, how do you see audiobooks fitting into people's routine in a way that supports mental health?
Oh, well, audiobooks are great because they're very convenient. Um, there are a lot of different ways to experience audiobooks. And really, like for instance, I've enjoyed audiobooks even though my mode of my transportation might change from home to work, from me driving to me taking the train or me taking the bus. And you can experience audiobooks either way. You can either connect your phone through Bluetooth to your car, and so you're listening to an audiobook, or you can have headphones on while you're on the train or on the bus and listening to an audiobook. So they're very convenient in that way. And also the technology has made it where you can pick up where you left off, so you can listen to an audiobook on the web, and then when you switch to your phone, it'll actually say, "Do you want to continue listening from where you last stopped?" You just say yes, and you continue, and the story continues. So yeah, it's very very convenient in that way. And again, it's just a way to sort of like not take a break from your real life.
Yeah. You know, there are lots of adults that say that I used to love reading, but I can't focus anymore. What do you say to someone who feels distracted or disconnected from books now?
I say I can understand. I can totally understand that. It seems as though people all around the world are stressed out for a variety of reasons. Um, and again, I think that's one of the things about audiobooks that kind of help you to get back into fiction storytelling because with the books, I mean, I used to when I was a kid, I used to love the feel of books. I used to love turn the way it sounded when you turn the page, especially hardcover books. Um, I loved book covers and also book design and stuff like that. Um, Audiobooks as a whole nother dimension that I really appreciate because and as a person who has written a novel and then handed that novel off to a group of actors to then perform, and
Mm.
after they're done with recording it, then hearing the performance, their interpretations of the story that I wrote, um, it just really helps me appreciate the fact that an audiobook is actually very different from the book itself because one, either the voice actor and the director or the producer, or in my case, I've worked with a whole cast of actors.
Okay.
All of these people have interpreted what you intended.
Mm.
in their own way, and they've added their contribution to it.
Yeah.
Um, and so it literally is a different thing from what I created. I mean, it literally is. And so I think that if a person is having a hard time focusing, they're having a hard time paying attention. If your love of books was based in actually the feel of sitting down, having the, to be honest, privilege to sit
Mm.
down and actually read a book, turn pages. If you're having a hard time getting into that, um, audiobooks might actually renew that passion for fiction, because now you put your headphones on, or you put the story on at, while you're cooking or whatever. A good actor, a good voice actor will draw you back into the story.
Yeah. That's true. Henry, where can listeners find your books and audiobooks and learn more about your work?
Well, that's the other good thing about being into publishing audiobooks independently now. So it's easy to publish an audiobook on Audible or Amazon, which Amazon earns Audible. But there are two platforms that allow you to publish your audiobooks pretty much everywhere. So my audiobooks are available on audiobooks.com, Storytel, Audible, like I said, Amazon.com, Calm FM, Libro FM. It's available if you listen to music, on the web, more than likely, or especially if you listen to podcasts on the web, like if you listen to um, TuneIn or Spotify. If you actually search for Henry L. Sullivan III Colosseum, it's probably available as an audiobook wherever you're listening to your podcast. And so it might even be included in whatever you're paying for the service. So from your end, you don't have to actually pay anything additional like you would if you go to Amazon. Um, so, or I don't know, the Hoopla is another way you can borrow the book from the library, from Hoopla Digital, and from Libby, which used to be Overdrive. In both cases, you can borrow the book from the library if you have a library card.
Oh, great. We'll include those links in the show notes. So, listeners, just check those out. And, Henry, is there any last message that you want to leave us with?
Well, I mean, I guess my last message is, and I appreciate the theme of your podcast. The importance of focusing on your own health. Things do seem to be crazy pretty much everywhere right now, and I like I said, I'm in a writing group now. I've been in dozens of writing groups. I've known other types of artists, and there is a general feeling among the artists that I collaborate with that one of the things that people might get out of our work is an ability to sort of take a break from life. Um, and in my case, I like to create work that helps you sort of process things that are going on, at least on a macro level in society. So you might be able to process something that's happening in your life by sort of going along with someone else, this fictional character, in
Yeah.
and just sort of being with them for a little while. So I mean, I really hope that that's one of the things that people get out of all of our work.
If today's conversation resonated, consider choosing one story this week, not to improve yourself, but simply to enjoy. Let it carry you for a while. This is Healthy Mind, Healthy Life. I am Yusuf. I thank Henry L. Sullivan III for his knowledge, for his wisdom, and his beautiful inputs about the books and audiobooks. And to everyone listening, I thank you for your ears. And I'll see you in the next episode.